The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Matt calling, do not answer. Matt calling, do not answer. Matt calling, do not answer.
Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad you finally picked up.
Yeah, after the last time I wasn't sure I wanted to answer the phone.
Yeah, I've called you like 6 times today. We're watching a great movie night. You should come over.
Let me check my schedule. I'm pretty sure. Crap.
Oh, come on over. Now, look, dude. This movie is a major award winner. Got nominated for 7. You're gonna love it.
Nominated for 7 awards. Are any of those words for worst
great.
movie of all time?
Yeah, it came out the same year that one of the stars picked up an Academy Award.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it has a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes. You're gonna love this movie.
It has a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Perfect score.
Well, I just feel like I'm walking. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to walk into something that I don't want to.
No, you're gonna love this. You like shark movies, right?
Shark movies?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're in? You're coming?
Yeah, what time?
All right. Well, just show up the regular time, and you're really gonna love this movie.
I highly doubt it. Let's see.
In this episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not, Matt brings Josh down to the SFP to watch the critically panned Jaws: The Revenge. This 1987 movie tells the story of Chief Brody's widow, who believes that her family is deliberately being targeted by another shark in search of revenge. We're going to listen to the trailer, and then we're going to see if this 1 hour and 29-minute film was fun like a banana boat ride, or if his hopes and dreams blew up in a roaring fury.
Instinctively, man has always been drawn to the sea. Its beauty, its mystery, its secrets. But there is also a vague uncertainty, a sense of intrusion into an alien world, where man is unwelcome and completely at the mercy of the most terrifying predator on Earth. Man's deepest fear has risen again. Jaws: The Revenge. This time, it's personal.
An exploding shark? Are you serious? Matt, you son of a bitch.
I honestly have to tell you that I think this movie is a sack of garbage. It is hot garbage. But I love watching this movie. It's an experience. It's a shared communal experience of just hot garbage being shoveled into your face. Everything about this movie is bad. I can't apologize for it, but I love watching it. I honestly do.
I honestly can say that between the 2 movies we've watched already, I would much rather watch this one over the first one.
You seriously would?
Oh wow, my goodness. Like, if someone was like, you have 2 choices between movies to watch for the rest of your life, and one of them was this piece of shit, or last week's, I'd be like, this piece of shit is definitely the better movie.
I'm really kind of surprised. I thought you would hate this one much more. So
No. Anytime that I get to see a boat spear a shark, which then causes it to explode, and revealing that someone who was quote-unquote eaten is still alive. I mean, I just don't know how you can make that any better. I mean, that's cinematic gold right there.
So your problems with this movie are the exploding shark and Mario Van Peebles coming back to life after being eaten by a shark.
Oh, no. Those are just the beginning.
Those are just the beginning. Well, let me tell you about what this movie should have been, what it could have been. Okay, so I love Jaws. Jaws is one of my top 2 or 3 movies of all time. The original Jaws, it's a perfect movie. It draws you in. It's got horror. It's got adventure. It is superb. It is wonderful. And this movie just takes that legacy and shits all over it. But that's okay. Jaws was such a great movie. It took 2 terrible, terrible fucking movies to drag it down into nothing. But what this movie has going for it, at least with my experience, is the fact that I did not see it in theaters. When this movie came out, I had just turned 11 years old, and I was all excited about it. It was promoted super heavily. It was all over TV, and I wanted to watch it, and I honestly could not find a theater that showed it. It was so despised at the time, and I'm assuming it still is. But my first exposure to this movie was later on in college. I was able to read the novelization of this movie, which is based on the original screenplay. And I gotta tell you, the original screenplay for this movie is super interesting. The director who was hired for this movie at the end of 1986, in September, by the way, the movie came out in July 1987. So that's 9 months from not having a script to being released in theaters, which is unheard of. But the novelization was based on an early version of the script, and it was terrific. The novelization of this movie adds so much to my enjoyment of this movie. It involves a magical voodoo curse on the Brody family. And that is why the shark can apparently track them down in a tropical island in the Bahamas in like 4 days. It's about a shaman that has a problem with the family, and I don't know, they piss him off somehow. And it follows them down there and starts picking them off. And in the movie, the character that's the pilot, he doesn't deliver laundry. He, quote, delivers laundry. And by that, I mean he's a drug runner, which explains why he's got all the money. Now, they took all these parts, and I'm led to believe they actually shot them, where a voodoo priest turns into the shark that comes along and follows them around, and they're doomed as a family. And he follows them around and picks them off one by one. And as a bonus, I know you love the ending to this movie, but the original ending that I haven't seen since I was a little kid is very different. When I first saw this movie, it was on TV, and the TV cut that I saw at the end, spoiler alert, everybody, they stab the shark with the bowsprit of the boat, and it breaks the boat in half and sinks to the bottom, and that's the end of the movie. Not the exploding, roaring shark we see in every cut now. For a long time, I thought I was crazy because I remembered a different ending to this movie than what's in the release. But that's what happened. And it makes a hell of a lot more sense. But anyhow, they stab the shark in the heart. It dies, breaks the boat. They float away. And Mario Van Peebles does not survive.
Wow, that was just the most interesting thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm so
exactly. This should have been a good movie.
Like I thought that the worst part of this night was going to be watching that film, but
the worst part is listening
more
to me
in-depth
the novelization
explanation about how this shitty movie should have been better, but wasn't.
I totally get that.
Probably was worse. Like,
I understand.
Which is saying something because the amount of problems that I have with this film, I just can't even begin to explain. I mean, the amount of times they were talking about, the parents were talking about having sex with each other in front of their 5-year-old. Just, I mean, that was kind of crazy.
Oh, don't worry.
The incessant commentary about how that little girl died by the hands of her father was pretty fun too. We should definitely.
I wasn't going to go
mind.
there. They can.
And then also the amount of inappropriate fashion wear that happened on beaches by the grandmother, the matriarch of this family. I just can't even imagine. I mean, you're in an island in the middle of the tropics, and
I would imagine
wearing a sweater that looks like you just came out of some like fashion magazine.
I would imagine Lorraine Gary had some sort of inordinate pull over the fashion design in this movie, being that she was, the studio head's wife at the time. And
it was just terrible. Like everything about this movie, there was the only redeeming factor about this whole movie was the fact that Michael Caine is in it.
Oh, Michael Caine.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, like, Michael Caine is one of my favorite actors. So, I mean, just watching him act in anything makes things better. So.
Michael Caine was terrific in this.
Yeah,
and he won an Academy Award while he was filming this and was not permitted to attend.
Yeah, which movie did he win an Academy Award for?
Hannah and Her Sisters, I believe.
I
But
never saw it either.
somebody asked him if he'd actually seen the movie Jaws: The Revenge, and he said, "I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the house that it paid for." And that pretty much sums up his whole involvement with this movie.
Yeah. The real question is, why didn't they use shark repellent spray?
What do you mean? What are you getting at?
Well, Michael Caine is Batman's butler.
Okay.
Batman carries shark repellent spray. So why didn't he just borrow some shark repellent spray from Bruce?
Holy shit! You're making the Batman universe 50 years old part of this, because I can go in with that.
It's about the same cinematic quality.
It would make this movie better.
I mean, the shark in this movie actually I think was worse than the shark in that original 1960s movie, which, in all honesty, I'm not sure that was possible. Like, I thought for sure that shark was going to be the worst shark I ever saw in a cinematic film, but I can honestly say that shark was about 20 times better than this one. And that's saying something, because it was bad.
Well, told you before, it has a perfect rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics score to this day, 30 years later, is 0%.
That is amazing.
Every critic hated this movie.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
I'd give you quotes about it, but there would be way too many. This movie sucks balls.
Yeah, it's not good. But at the same time, I mean, that's kind of what I expect from all Jaws movies, because I never was a big fan of Jaws movies in the first place. They always seemed kind of cheesy and hokey and didn't really make much sense, because it's just a shark. Like, it can't really be that powerful. And the fact that, I mean, there's just so many plot holes with Jaws movies in general, because they keep having the same shark come over and over again and attack them, and yet no one carries a high-powered rifle.
Okay,
like,
for one thing,
I think the one dude's got like a 22 at some point. It's like, you're gonna shoot a shark with a 22? I mean, I just never really got the whole concept of Jaws movies. It's a killer shark, cool. But
nobody says it's the same shark in the two movies that are halfway decent.
There's harpoons that can kill sharks. There's the high-powered rifles that can kill sharks. Like, there's just too many ways to kill sharks for it to be a really viable thing for it to happen.
You mean you don't think the bowsprit of a boat could make a shark explode?
I just don't know how that would work. I mean, the amount of force that would be required, and the buildup of gas. I mean, unless the guy was like burning something inside him, that maybe that's what happened. That's how he survived. He was burning something inside him and caused him to explode. I
do have to say, the clip they show at the end of this film, in the big climax, where Roy Scheider in a flashback says, "Smile, you son of a bitch," seems blasphemous, because I love Jaws. It's a top 5 movie of all time for me. I love that movie. And the fact that they brought it and put it in this pile of manure is just terrible. It's like putting a firecracker in a pile of shit. You just don't want any part of it.
Yeah, but the only way to redeem this movie at all is to bring clips from other shitty films into it.
Well, this movie was an award winner. I told you that before.
0%
critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was nominated for 7 Razzies, for 7 Golden Raspberry Awards, and it won 1. It's so bad it couldn't even win 7 Razzies.
Which one did it win?
It won for visual effects, if you could believe it.
Yeah.
But the shark looks so real.
It doesn't.
Oh, my favorite parts are when the shark is bone dry eating people.
My favorite part is when you can see an obvious person inside the shark costume, because his foot is sticking to the side of the shark costume. And you can see the person's foot swimming through the ocean with a shark costume. I mean, it's almost as good as the rhino giving birth scene. So
you're back on Ace Ventura 2.
You know I'm always back on Ace Ventura 2. I love that movie.
I'm sorry, that movie did not make the list.
Good, because it's actually a good movie, and I don't know how to hate that one. It'd be hard for me to talk about how terrible a movie was.
I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I'm going to say it's not as good as the first one, no matter what you think.
First one, I mean, a dolphin, a diamond, just don't get it.
I do have one note I took during the movie that I want to share with everybody listening.
We're talking about
all 4 of you.
The face that I made when, got it.
And that's at the timestamp, 1 hour and 14 minutes into the movie.
Uh-huh.
You have the shark jumping up at Lorraine Gary.
Oh, yeah.
It is glorious.
It was horrific. I'm pretty sure I Picard facepalmed there.
I got to tell you guys at home, we actually rewound it because Josh had been looking at his phone during that shot. We rewound it, and he found it as just as remarkable as the rest of us. And there were 5 of us in this room.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this to myself.
All right. Well, let's play a game of higher or lower. Okay?
All right.
You know that it was 0% on Rotten Tomatoes with critics.
Yep.
Let's go with the audience score.
20.
Now I was 11 years old when this came out, if that tells you how old I am. And I desperately wanted to see it based on the infamous banana boat scene that they played incessantly on things, movie review shows and preview shows. Let's go with the audience score. Would you go higher or lower than 30%?
Oh man, I don't know. There's enough delusional people in the world. I mean, Trump is president, to think that this is probably
Okay,
good.
we're going to have to edit that out to preserve, like, I don't know, 1% of our audience because...
So yeah, we're definitely not editing that out. That's definitely going to stay in there because the audience that we actually want to listen to us.
we may have lost one listener.
Yeah, I mean, we may have gained 20 more though. So I'm okay with losing Trump supporters as listeners. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go, you said 30%.
Did I? I don't remember.
You did say 30%.
Drunk.
Let me think here. Higher or low? I really don't want to say, but I'm going to go higher.
You're going to go higher than 30%.
Yeah.
Higher than 30% on this pile of garbage.
I am.
I'm just going to say you're too high. You want to go lower?
Yeah, let's go lower.
Let's go to 25%.
Oh, man.
You tell me when to stop.
Can I guess?
20%.
Can I say 18%?
18%.
That's my guess.
Even lower.
Oh, my goodness. Is it like 12%?
It is 14%.
14% audience score. So there are 14% of people who have watched this movie who thought it was good.
Yeah, 14% appreciated this movie. And I love this movie, but even on a website where you had to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, I give it a thumbs down. Like, it is terrible. I'm more into the experience of watching it.
Yeah, I'm going to give this movie 1.3 stars out of 10.
1.3 stars.
Out of 10.
So that's 0.4
higher than
points
Cannibal.
higher than Cannibal the Musical.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, and it's only because of Michael Caine.
That's only because of Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
if it didn't
if there
have
had
Michael...
not been Michael Caine in this movie would have gotten 0.7 stars.
Okay, so is there any actor that would have made it higher for you?
Then Michael Caine? I don't know. I mean, if Kevin Kline would have actually been in it.
That's true. That's true. We did talk during the movie about how the son was in fact a poor, very poor man's.
Yeah. Or if like Meryl Streep could have played the mom.
Ooh, Meryl Streep is the mom. I'm not sure if she would have been old enough. Because
Yeah.
this basically what this boils down to is a grandmother that's pissed off at a shark.
Yeah. And she wants to ram that thing with a boat.
Exactly.
And what kills me is that not only did ramming the shark at the boat cause the shark to explode, but it also broke the boat in half.
That's true.
So-
That's true.
Simultaneously, a boat breaks in half while a shark explodes. I just can't imagine the amount of force they had to be moving at.
Well, in the
for that to occur,
original
because
ending, it did break
doesn't-
the boat in half. It
but
was
doesn't
impaled.
Seem like the boat was going fast enough for that kind of force. Like I think.
Well, no, it was more the weight of the shark that broke it in half in the original ending.
Yeah, but I just don't. I mean, I don't think it would break the whole boat in half.
Which, by the way,
Plus, if the shark exploded at the point in which contact occurred, then there's no way the boat could have broken in half because there wouldn't have been enough weight because they would have exploded on the top half up. The bottom half of the shark would have just fallen off, and they wouldn't have broken the boat in half.
but this shark has incredible lungs. It roars at several points in that
It
final
does
confrontation.
roar. And it shoots up air bubbles and shoots up blood from docks.
That's true. That's true. It does chew on a boat or barge at some point.
Yeah,
And
it's like
blood clouds the water.
with lots of air bubbles.
It's insane.
I think my absolute favorite part in the movie is when he takes his air tank off,
Uh-huh.
and you assume at this point that he's going to try the same trick they tried in another Jaws movie, where they shove the air tank in the shark's mouth.
Oh, not at that point.
But no, he actually does a smart thing with it, and uses the air tank to propel himself to the surface at a very rapid rate in order to get out of the water.
That's right.
He's like the first person in any Jaws movie that was like, "Oh, there's a shark in the water. I should probably get out, not go after the shark."
That's
Like,
true.
This movie opens up with this guy like seeing this shark, getting his arm bitten off, and instead of like using his other arm to drive the boat to safety, he's just like, "No, I'm just gonna sit here and cry and ask for help." Like, no, like use your other arm, drive the boat back to safety, or I don't know, use 357 that's attached to your hip because you're a cop to shoot the shark because 357 will pierce the skin of a shark. Like, there's just so many flaws. It's like
Well, you
this
heard it
movie
here
should have
first.
never gone as far as it did. Like, he's a cop, he saw a shark. Like, don't like put your arm out because the shark's gonna eat it. Just use your gun.
Did you just say he was a cop?
He was.
Did you just watch the same movie I did? He's a marine biologist, just like in Jaws 3,
the original
only
son.
different.
The original son who died was a
Uh-huh.
police officer for
Okay.
the Amity Police Department.
Okay,
Why
I
didn't
get it there.
he kill the shark in the first place with the 357 that was attached to his hip? Because that was standard issue police carrying back in that time with a 357 Magnum. He could use 357 Magnum, which is an in-frame revolver from Smith & Wesson that could have pierced a hole through that shark and killed it, instead of just getting eaten by the shark.
I do have to say, though, he was harbor police. I'm not sure if that's real police. I think that's more
No,
like...
they showed when they gave his stuff back to his mom, it showed a picture of his gun, and that was a 357 Magnum.
Well, it bit his arm off. How was he going to pull the
Because
trigger?
it bit his left arm off. He's right-handed.
Also, I do have to say, we're recording this during the holiday season, and this movie is set in the holiday season.
It is. It is a Christmas movie.
This movie-
is more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You people that say Die Hard's a Christmas movie? No. Jaws
This
the
is the
Revenge
true
is a
Christmas
Christmas movie.
Set in Christmas time. They sing Christmas carols throughout it. There's a choir of children singing Christmas carols. There's a bloodthirsty shark, which what says holidays more than bloodthirsty shark.
Exactly.
I mean, they celebrate New Year's. They're on a tropical island, so they're family together. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's a good holiday.
There's a lot of awkward chemistry between the family because they talk about sex a lot in front of little girls. I mean, that feels like that's about the most family thing ever.
So-
Although we don't,
There's all kinds of gadgets like Home Alone.
we don't have a racist uncle in this, so
Oh, there's all kinds of weird racist shit in this.
yeah, but we don't have like a real. Oh yeah, like the fake Caribbean accent the entire time.
Yeah, the Mario Van Peebles accent
Ugh.
is super racist.
What's funny about that whole thing is that it like during the movie, it like fades in and out. Like sometimes his accent's
Yeah,
like really
it's-
thick, and then sometimes it's not.
It's pretty
Anyways, yeah. So I give this 1.3 stars out of 10.
bad. 1.3 stars.
Yeah, so higher than
0.4
Cannibal the Musical.
Out of 10 stars, you
with
give it
10 star,
1.3 stars.
Mostly because of Michael Caine and my love affair for Michael Caine.
Oh, I gotta tell you,
Uh,
I gotta tell you, this movie gets about 2 stars from me out of 10.
Two out of
But the
10?
experience of watching it, which is what's important to me, the experience gets about 7.5 stars, I'd say, out of 10.
Okay. Wow. Experience wise, yep, 1.
This movie is the most fun I have watching movies.
Yeah, experience 1.
Everything about this movie is ludicrous.
Yeah. I'm surprised Ludacris wasn't in it.
All right, well,
He was too young though.
I gotta tell you, out of all the movies on the list that's been curated by the producer and the editor of this podcast and me, myself.
I like how you three
Um,
know all the movies and I know nothing about them.
Oh, we love it when you come in cold because you don't know what to expect. It's glorious.
Oh, I expect horrificness every time.
The pained
So,
look on your face is just insanely wonderful.
I'm glad you get pleasure out of my pain.
All right, well, is there anything like you'd like to say about this movie before we go?
If you want to torture somebody in your life that you dislike, you should probably force them to watch this movie.
All right.
Jaws Revenge is on. Yeah, it's pretty bad. This is definitely like a bachelor party movie to like mess with your friends.
Yeah, again, this movie is, I don't want to be too vulgar here, but I've been drinking. This movie is ass. This movie is total ass.
That's the vulgarity going with total ass. We've said fuck and shit and bitch in this thing, and total ass is your vulgarity, huh?
This movie fucking sucks. Like, it's unreal. And I have seen it probably 5 times a year for the past 2 or 3
I
years.
just don't understand why
It's-
why do
it's
you subject yourself to
wonderfully-
this stuff?
The experience of watching this movie is great because you think to yourself, I could do better than that. If they gave me $100,000 and a wetsuit and a toy shark, I could do better than this movie.
What kills me is that you keep watching these bad films multiple times per year, yet you cannot find time, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes right now like you guys can see it on the podcast, to watch a movie that I've been telling you should watch for quite some time because it's fantastic. So I'm just saying, maybe you need to reprioritize your movie watching experience and find a way to watch this movie. And that way you can talk about how great it is with me and you can talk about how awesome you love it. Anyways, I'm getting a clock signal from our producer, maybe. I don't really know what's going on here. He's just kind of shaking his head in the background and looking at his watch a bunch and trying to figure out what's going on. So we love Mike. He's one of our favorites. And thanks
you,
again
Mike.
to Tony for being our editing master. He's making us sound halfway intelligent when we get off into these rants that we go upon.
Again, I sound
And
intelligent.
They're drunken from one point. Yeah, definitely. What's always fun is that we consume the same amount of alcohol, but one of us is always drunker.
I'm not going to say which one that is. I find that remark hurtful for no reason. And honestly, got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to next time.
Yeah, I still wait for that half burn you thought you could come up with.
You're going to enjoy this experience. I'm telling you, you're going to love it.
Is the half burn that you give me every time, because you can't do it with words, is making me watch these films?
Well, yeah.
All right.
I love you, Josh.
I love you too, buddy.
We'll see you next time.
Still a son of a bitch.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios located off of beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Team Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Tony Troxel, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice, and please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Copy eating shark, do 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 do. Copy eating shark, do 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 do. Copy eating shark, do 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 do. Copy eating shark. Voodoo shark, do 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 do. Voodoo shark, do 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 do. Voodoo shark, do 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 do. Voodoo shark. Roaring shark, do 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 do. Roaring shark, do 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 do. Roaring shark, do 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 do. Roaring shark. Exploding shark, do 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 do. Exploding shark, do 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 do. Exploding shark, do 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 do. Exploding shark.